Well, thank you, Mr. President. And can't even talk. It's getting late. Or is it early, Mr. President? I'm just going to bring up one topic now that's very important to me. There are some of the things I might talk about later, just in the bill in general, but it has to do with this PSEO matter. And Senator Matthews described it pretty well. However, I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit. There's just all kinds of reasons why you want to leave this alone. Least of which not is that it's actually working. This whole education business that we're in, not everybody buys into the theory of it. Some of the students just don't get the support at home. They have challenges with their mobility. Some are lucky to go to the same school for a whole year in a row. Some are borderline homeless. Some have challenges with family structures and substance use. Some live in dangerous neighborhoods. And for them, the school bit is the least important part of their life. And so how do you get some of them to buy in? And I'm just trying to stick with one topic, but there are many ways. And some students really benefit by having an on-campus opportunity when they're in high school. And some want to go to a place that matches their city. Some want to go to one that matches kind of their interest level. And some want to go to a place that matches their faith. And Senator Matthews described in quite good detail the fact that it's actually quite legal and in fact been tested that this should be so. And it's just really disappointing that this proposal was brought forward in the first place because it was unnecessary and frankly wrong. And at the end of the day, it's going to be challenged. I hope this can get sent back just so it can be restored to the Senate position. But at the end of the day, the state's going to lose. And there's these little colleges, there's 4 of them, Northwestern, Crown, Bethany, and North Central, are going to have to find money to go and stand up for their rights, the freedoms that Americans enjoy, the freedom to worship as you choose. People risked their lives in the beginning to come over here from Europe through dangerous seas and very primitive times for that freedom. And it meant a lot. And people have bled and died since, both men and women, protecting our freedoms in this manner to help us appreciate our freedom to worship. And the thing about freedom to worship is you don't have to worship. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have the desire to worship to God or not. You can do whatever you like. That's the beauty of this. And so when a person wants to embark on a on-campus experience at a university or a college that calls itself Christian, a person should realize what they're getting into. And the students that attend all these other 4 colleges and some others, when they're there as students, are required to go through this same requirement about their statement of faith. And frankly, in a place that takes their faith seriously, a person may be uncomfortable if they didn't share that faith. That's the point. So people go there to improve upon their education and also to feel surrounded by people of like mind. And there are many such colleges that don't have a statement of faith where people are feeling they have an affinity for the group that they've chosen to join. And as Senator Matthews commented, it isn't like they have to only go to these. And the Supreme Court, in a different ruling, commented about that private colleges are all different. And Christian colleges don't have to be the same as another private college, but they, by their nature, have a function of faith. And so they get to be that. And the only way to make this so it's not legal is to take it away from all the private colleges, which would be undesirable. And we talked about this in the committee, and people said, oh, separation of church and state, which is a slogan which is without a meaning. And it's been tested, Mr. President, by the Supreme Court. And it's frankly just wrong. And it grieves me that we as legislators who are bound to uphold the law and work within the framework of that, understanding decisions that have been made, would be so brazen as to decide that this is something that should be removed. And it further shocks me that the department would have brought this forward as a provision, and they are the ones who are also supposed to understand this as they lead the state in their various ways. And so I think of all the things about this bill, Mr. President, that I find problematic. It's the fact that there would be this direct assault on the freedom of faith that we all hold so dear, each in our own way, each in the freedom that we're guaranteed in so many aspects of our law and the Constitution. And to take this opportunity away from over 500 students who have chosen this opportunity, including well over 10% that are non-white or some kind of minority, when they have enjoyed this opportunity for 37 years, is simply an error. And Mr. President, this could be repaired in no time. And it's not my intention. I would have made the motion if Senator Duckworth would not have. But for this reason and this reason alone, this should not go forward. It's just simply wrong. We are a body who respects different types of individuals. If this bill is about anything, it's about respecting differences of race, of background, of ethnicity, of everything, and different historical groups in Minnesota that we decide we want to learn about. But, Mr. President, except one. Except one group doesn't get to experience the freedom and the respect. And I cannot imagine how this body would want to do that. It's just wrong. And so, I'll just give part of my closing thoughts. I was going to vote for this bill. And I'll comment maybe on third reading, but I cannot vote for it with this piece. I voted for it leaving the floor in the hopes that it would turn out better, because this piece was gone. And I'll just make a comment out. I think I'll say nothing else the rest of the game, of the meeting. It's late and I'm tired. There are some good things about this bill, Mr. President, $5.4 billion. And so I asked myself yesterday, what would I trade this for? $100? $1 million? $1 billion? Maybe $1 billion. I would decide that that's a good trade. We sell stuff all the time that these 500 kids and what they represent, it's fine. We don't have to actually, for $1 billion, that's a lot of money. Well, maybe $2 billion. Maybe $2 billion is the fair price for this price of this bill. Like, what an influx of money. Maybe $3 billion, Mr. President. Maybe $3 billion would be the price that I would trade this for And, there's a lot of things I care about in this state. Nursing homes and people with disabilities and education and many other things. Maybe $4 billion, Mr. President. Maybe for $4 billion, I would be willing to trade this. Maybe $5 billion, Mr. President. Maybe $5.4 billion. That's the highest offer I get to pick. And, Mr. President, I'm not trading it. This is too important. It's too valuable. And Senator Kunish and Senator Swedzinski, please reconsider. Let's get this out. Let's do the right thing. This can be done in no time in just an updated conference committee, and then we can be proud to stand together. I can be proud to vote for the bill because it does a lot of good things. But, Mr. President, I cannot deny my faith. I cannot deny the opportunity for 500 young people to go and experience their right to be in a Christian community. Members, I urge you to vote green on the motion.